March 25th, 2009, we're in Gatineau, Quebec at a roundtable organized by the Canadian Council for International Cooperation. The roundtable is called What Role for Canada in the Americas? We have several distinguished visitors to Canada at this event, and I'm talking right now to Victor Baez Mosquiera, and I will have Victor introduce himself, please.
Yes, I'm born Paraguayan. I live in Sao Paulo, where the headquarters of the Trade Union Confederation of the Americas are located. The Trade Union Confederation of the Americas is the Confederation of National Centers of the Americas. Here in Canada, we have two affiliates, the CLC and the CSN, and also other sectors. And we represent in the hemisphere about 50 million people from Alaska to Argentina.
And what is the Confederation's role here today? Are you bringing a message to the Canadian people and the Canadian government?
We were asked about our views on the foreign policy of the Canadian government, and we were also asked how we would like to see the foreign policy of Canada in the Americas. Actually, what we think of the current foreign policy of Canada is that the government in Canada has been advocated for free trade and free investment agreements in the hemisphere. The government has been using the OAS also to advocate for free trade and free investment agreements for the neoliberal model, and that is not the most convenient model for Latin America. This crisis, the financial and economic crisis, are just part of the of other crises that emerged before this crisis. We're talking about the social crisis, the deepening of the inequalities, social inequalities in Latin America, the environmental crisis, the food crisis, and of course the energetic crisis. If we want to address if we want to solve the current crisis, financial and economical, we have also to address the other crises that emerged before. And so we have different points of view. The neoliberals want to solve this crisis just by putting some regulations on the financial capital. We think that the other crises must be addressed too. Altogether, we have to solve this crisis with a more important role of the states in public policies in order to solve the inequalities, the environmental problem, the food crisis, and the energetic crisis.
Here in Canada, our government has fast-tracked a free trade deal with Colombia. What do you predict or expect or fear will be the results of this deal going forward?
I have no doubt that as in the past the Bush government did, the Canadian government will push for the acceptance of the free trade agreement with Colombia. But that will not solve the problem of the Colombian development. At the same time, we want to raise the attention of the Canadian people on the situation of human rights in Colombia. But even if all those human rights were respected in Colombia, the free trade agreements and the free investment agreements are not the way out, the solution for the problems of development in Colombia. And I also want to point out that Canada may be wanting some trade agreements with the Central American. In the past, the Bush government didn't pass the agreement with Colombia because of human rights violations on trade union leaders. But they did approve, the government of the US, the Bush government, did pass the agreement with Central America. But the problem is that in Guatemala, they are also killing trade union leaders. They're also firing people that want to organize unions. So it means that for the Bush administration, the human rights of the Colombians are more valuable than the human rights of the Guatemalan. That the countries, the developed countries, cannot get into those kinds of contradictions.
Are you involved in the People's Summit coming up in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, my organization is organizing a union forum to debate on the current crisis, financial and economic, but also debate on the solutions of the social, economic, and the food and environmental crisis.
And what do you hope to get to go forward with from that People's Summit?
From our point of view, it is very important the alliance of the labor movement with other sectors of civil society that do want to overcome this neoliberal model. Therefore, we are part of the Hemispheric Social Alliance, and we work together with other sectors, the peasants, the human rights sectors, the gender sectors, the churches, and other sectors that do want to overcome this model. And the struggle will go on, or will continue, because the neoliberal sectors still will insist in more free trade, in more free investment agreements in order to overcome this crisis. But we know that it is not the right way out of the crisis, and we will discuss with them openly what our points of view are.
Thank you very much, Victor Baez Mosquiera, and good luck with your work.
Thank you very much.